Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. Hi Stampin' friends, this is the June 2020 box of Sunshine Paper Pumpkin Kit. It comes with a black Stampin' Spot and a beautiful sentiment that has sunshine and smile and you are loved, and there's a couple more sentiments in there. And then there is this talker here of Sarah, who I have actually met, and I have a picture of us actually together. And she's suggesting that you can use the mini paper pumpkin boxes to doll up the projects inside of this particular kit. So I'm going to do something a little different. First of all, the editing snap there gets us to take a look at what the kit actually does. So it allows you to create like 8 cards with funky envelopes, and then you get to decorate the box as well. And then if you wanted to, there's extra product in here that you could go and use on those mini paper pumpkin boxes that you could get in the catalog. So these envelopes are delightful, and the card fronts are pretty awesome too. I really liked these embellishments. They are the Artistry Blooms adhesive back sequins, or kind of. Here's some stickies, which I actually used quite a bit of. And then this is the stickers that would stick to the box. And I have decorated my box because you never know, you might have somebody you want to give it to. It's a nice size box that you can mail. And lots of embellishments. So my very first alternative is I'm going to take this lovely little card and I'm going to turn it into a box. So I'm going to lop off 1 inch of the white part. You can reuse this if you don't have any Whisper white cardstock, or you can leave it. Then I'm going to, from the center crease, I'm going to move it 1 inch to the right and score it. So I figure everybody has a trimmer that has a score tool on it. So I figured I would give this direction. Now it's pretty much 1 inch scoring around the perimeter, so on all 4 sides. And that's as simple as that gets. So basically we're going to make a box out of a card. All right, so we're we are burnishing our score lines with a bone folder. And of course you could use the back of a spoon or something plastic, whatever you got. Now, everybody has paper snips, I'm pretty sure. So this is how we cut. When we build a box, we go up on the score line, and we don't wedge on the rectangles, we wedge on the squares, because those are our tabs that we stick to the rectangles to make the box. I do a lot of box making on Fridays. If you ever wanted to tune in, you probably will see some, shenanigans. And I come up with some pretty good little designs, gift-giving ideas. So once you've done it on one side, and I gave you sort of a close-up view, I've sped this up now, so you do it on the other side. It's that simple. Then you're going to take your adhesive. I happen to be using the Stampin' Seal Plus right now. I'm still getting used to it. You're not supposed to twist off like I'm doing, but I did find that that was actually working for me. It's such a small little area, but what you want to do is you want to get adhesive close to the score line and on the free edge of those squares that you cut. And you want to do it on all of the squares. So these are, I call them tabs, and these actually would adhere into the inside of the box. This is kind of like a pizza style box. I've heard people call it. The white part is going to be our base. So we're just taking that tab and we're folding it up to the rectangle. So the free edge here is adhered to the folded scored line. And we're going to do that with the middle inch there. So you can see what I'm doing. And then this is the simplest part. You close the lid and close the front part, and then bring that tab in, and then just set it on the ground so that, or on your table, so that it folds nicely around. And then what I usually do, if there's any adhesive, I will rub it off with my fingers. I will also go around. Oh, and this is a little trick. So I'm folding it all the way open, and I'm going to take my scissors and put my scissors in the corner there and lop off that corner. Those corners have a tendency to bow, and that actually helps. So once you fit everything inside, we have our own mini little pizza boxes. So I will go around and sort of feel if there's any like paper that sort of scrapes against my finger, and I will just trim off to make sure that it's flush. And that is as simple as it gets, folks. That is a very awesome sized treat box. You could put anything in there. And I did decorate it up with a little banner piece, just with dimensionals on the back. And then I put the sun on. I sort of put the Stampin' Seal Plus, and then I just had 4 dimensionals on either side, so it straddles the banner piece. Sorry, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm not 100%, jovial right now. This is the only time I can do it where it's nice and quiet. Anyway, I have stamped the sentiment, and I'm just using Memento Tuxedo Black ink so that it mimics the black ink that came in the kit. So I'm going to fussy cut the sentiment out. You know that I'm infamous for it, or famous for it. I'm not exactly sure. It depends on who you're talking to. Some people don't like fussy cutting, and I don't mind it, but I didn't want like a whole strip of white on top of this really colorful box. So I did want to have the colors on the box sort of, speak. So I put dimensionals on the back of that. And then I also put those amazing sequins. I really like them. I didn't think that I would like them as much as I did. I used them on every project and still had some. That's me making sure that the cat hair got off of them. And I actually used quite a bit. I think I might have used 5 or so on this project. Now I want to show you the variations of the box that I did. So I did a lot. I did 4 boxes. So 1 out of every card base. And it's a good size box. Like you could put treats in there. You could put jewelry in there. You could put, you might be able to get a gift card in there. I'm not 100% sure if it would go, but cash for sure. Cute little box. A little something to brighten your day. That is the sentiment. So this is the first box. And then I made sure that you got a good dimensional look on it. And then here's the black one with the lemon. And I used some of those stickers. Though this one says hello sunshine, and there's a little half-cut sunshine in there. And this one is super classy. It's like a Christmas gift. All right, so card number 2. I started off with the sun rays card, and I am cutting it in half. I only wanted to really work with the card front. And then I have it's like a gridded paper that has been laminated, and it is a non-porous surface. So I'm not going to have to wash my mat. I just have to wipe this particular grid mat clean with a baby wipe or something. So it contains my mess, and that's the reason why I like non-porous surfaces. So I've come in with some sponges, and the first color I put on was Rich Razzleberry, and this is sped up about twice, so double speed. And you can see how rough my second color was. So that was Cherry Cobbler. And it did not blend well. So then I just kept on going back with the Rich Razzleberry. And then I blended in. So this was probably the reason why it wasn't blending that well is because the card front was kind of rough. It wasn't as smooth as our normal Whisper White. It's not made for this ink blending. So, but the reason why I'm showing you this is because a lot of people get discouraged. Like I almost got discouraged, and I've been sponging for a long time, and I almost got discouraged, but then I kept on going back and forth and back and forth. Then I added my pumpkin pie, and then I went back with the Cherry Cobbler, then I went back with the Rich Razzleberry. And this kind of reminds me of like a beautiful sunset or sunrise. Either or would work. And you can see now finally it has started to blend. Just wait. This is crushed curry. Look at what the crushed curry does. So I've put that on the bottom, and then I went around the center of the sun, and it just did everything, like everything for the blending. Look at this. It was like I look at it now, the card now, and it has dried completely, and I can't see any roughness of that first color. So I did cut it down, and I have placed it on my card base, my Whisper White card base, and I've trimmed off a little bit because it wasn't even, I guess. And now I'm coming in with this is one of those sticker sheets. I'm just using the border. So I'm trimming off sort of a strip of it. And I have my silicone mat here, and I just stuck it on my silicone mat. Then I am coloring with my black blends marker. And I just wanted to show you how I clean this up too, because you're like, what are you doing? I had to use the silicone mat because this is like a sticker. So once I put the black strip on, and doesn't that just make it? Oh, so good. I love putting like a neutral, like black with color like this. All right, so go to the pharmacy and you can pick up these little alcohol wipes, and that will clean up permanent marker. So, and I do it right away. I don't sit and let it sit and marinate, if you will. All right, so this is the Sunshine Sentiment, and I have inked that up really well. And then I will nestle in the Sending. And then, of course, the Bling. I love this card. It reminds me of like the House of the Rising Sun or something like that. And here's a little trick. If you had your crease off a little bit, that's okay. I just took my sponge and colored it a little bit, so it looks like a seamless, perfect card. All right, the third card, I'm using that watercolor, I guess it's crushed curry in an orange or a red, trimming it down. So I'm trimming this down to 4 inches, then turning it around, and I'm trimming at 4.2 centimeters or 1 5/8 of an inch. I'd much rather do the 4.2 centimeters because it makes more sense to me. I think I talked about this in another video where I just couldn't do the math. Anyway, one of my team members came up with this. Like it's a Excel spreadsheet or something, so it really helped me out. So thanks, Valerie. Okay, so I put the first one down and the second and the last one down, and now I'm just going to throw the third one in there. And you can see that you can get a really even border all the way along. And this is kind of trendy right now. Everybody's kind of doing this with pattern paper. So, or I've noticed anyway. So I thought I would be trendy for once. Usually I'm like the lone wolf all on my own, doing my own thing. But yeah, I felt like this paper deserves some. I loved it. I don't know about you, but I love this kind of watercolor alcohol-y ink stuff. So I used a sun here. I cut it in half and I stamped the sentiment on that I don't know what shape that is. So it's just a nice banner, let's call it. And then of course the bling. That was a simple card. All right, for the fourth card, I have a couple of components here. I have my crushed curry mat there. I'm going to start off with stamping with Memento Tuxedo Black ink and the Sentiment Smile. I wanted to place the sentiment down first because I feel like if you put all the other elements and then sort of squeeze the sentiment in, it looks like that. So anyway, I have a sponge here and I am lightly sponging on some crushed curry. And then I'm going to adhere my lemons, and I am using Stampin' Seal. This is the replacement for snail. I never liked snail anyway, FYI. That's probably would never see me use it before. I felt it was too weak. So I'm really happy about this Stampin' Seal adhesive. It's lovely. All right, and you can see I had that little piece that was left over from the last card, so of the red and gold watercolory thing. So I'm adding that about 1.5 inches up, and then trimming it off, and then I'm going to adhere this whole panel to a crushed curry mat. And of course, you know what, if you don't have anything, you can put it straight on. The Whisper White thick card base. You didn't have to put this little extra mat in. And of course, if you don't have a lot of cardstock, you might not like it. But maybe you could, cut apart, some of the other cards to make a mat if you wanted. And now I'm going to try to find a place for this leaf, and I found it, the perfect one. I put that one flat on the card, and then the next two are on dimensionals. I like it. I was in Italy and I saw them sort of fry up lemons, like these big, massive lemons, the size of a baby's head, and they would. The lemon part was really small, like the citrus part on the inside was really small, but the pith and the lemon itself was a lot thicker, and it was like a delicacy. And these people were from Pompeii, so they did it in Pompeii. Anyway, I just had to share. It was just really weird. Each to their own. I'm not going to eat pithy lemon, but hey, hats off to people who have figured it out. All right, so here I have a whole bunch of components, and I have the yellow one, not the red card base here. I sliced that in half, and then the gold, this reminds me of Chanel. I don't know why. Gold and white and black. All right, I have a Whisper White thick card base, and I'm putting adhesive all over it, making sure that I got the edges. I am putting on the stripy gold about 1.5 inches from the bottom. I'm using my grid mat here to help me. Then I'm adding this, it's almost like an alcohol ink, hey? Like, to me, it seemed like alcohol ink. It was a very neat technique, whoever came up with this watercolory look. And I am trimming it off now so it fits my card base. And sometimes, you struggle with which is going to be the easiest. I find the easiest way to, cut it off of the card is from behind. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to do that little trick again with removing a little strip, putting it on my silicone craft mat, then coloring it with my black blends marker. That's the darkest black. And then I'm going in with some sparkle. So this is Wink of Stella. Can't get on without it. Peeling it up from my mat, and look at what this black does between these two. So nice. All right, so this is a stitched circle. I think it's the largest or second largest stitched circle. Then I'm taking this massive pineapple. I'm putting dimensionals all along the back of it and putting it over top of the stitched circle. I've inked up the word hello, and I just stamped that on the little banner, trimmed the banner down, a little bit of that Stampin' Seal adhesive, and put the hello at a jaunty angle. Plus, I had to put some of those sequins down. Still using them, still loving them. I actually I'm surprised. I think I said that before. I'm surprised I liked them this much. You don't have to mess with the glue. They've put glue on them. All right, so I'm using the same little trick. I happened to have my sponge out, and it wasn't just perfect. So I just, sponged the card so that it looked like it was seamless. My giant pineapple card. I have no stories about pineapples. You'll have to wait for me to go to Hawaii before I tell you a pineapple story. Oh, hey, wait, I have bonus. This was a pretty easy paper pumpkin, and I just sort of went with it. So I have a couple of bonuses. This was the Whisper White card base, and then I have I've used my embossing buddy. Stampin' Up doesn't sell embossing buddies, but you have to use an embossing buddy if you're going to emboss, okay? So if you don't have an embossing buddy, you go put some flour or something on your card. And I always say that it's hard looking at somebody embossing because the embossing ink is clear. But now as I'm sprinkling on the gold embossing powder, you can see what I'm doing finally. I'm going to heat it with my heat tool. And because this is a thick Whisper White, I am going to heat it from the front. Normally when I use a thinner paper, I heat from the back. I find I get a more even and less warpy. For this particular one, I think that I wasn't very careful about removing some of the stray embossing particles. So I did see them kind of everywhere, but I didn't mind it so much. I stamped sending in the black. I needed sort of some relief from all this bling on the card. And again, with a lot of bling here. And then off camera on the centers of the sun, I put Wink of Stella. So just to make it super bright. You'll see that in the still pictures. But keep watching because there's another bonus. Bonus number 2. I hope I'm earning a whole bunch of thumbs up by giving you many bonuses today. So it's not a paper pumpkin alternative video if I don't massacre an envelope. So here is my envelope, and I'm slicing it down, and I'm not measuring. So I am I think what I was doing was putting the envelope in, and then just as like the edge of the left part of the clear part on the trimmer, I made sure to cut. Does that make sense? I just eyeballed it. And then I just wanted to make it, 4 by 4¼ by 5½. So a full quarter sheet. And then I have adhered this to my Whisper White thick card base. And actually, I'll tell you a little secret. I thought I was going to do it the other way, like put the gold bits on the lines on the top instead of the bottom, but I put it on backwards. So I'm like, well, I'll just go with it. I'm so confident. I make it look like I meant to do it, but this is the way I wanted it oriented. And then, yeah, I put it on backwards. No one knows. Don't tell anybody. All right. So I have, I'm trimming off the actual border of this black sticker, and it took me a while, but I did get it centered on my card front. And I think what threw me was the envelope has the gold stripes up there and it's offset, so it threw me off. So I had to make it perfectly centered, or as best I could. And okay, so I'm a stripes girl. I don't really like polka dots. So what I ended up doing was, this is it crushed curry? Maybe mango melody. And I colored the white dots in. Then, I don't know if I had a video a while ago where I had a blurb of Wink of Stella. So I'm fixing that Wink of Stella, and I'm hoping for the blurps because I coated the inside. And then here's my massive pineapple again. And now I have used the smile. I've stamped it out twice just because. And here's a little bit more fussy cutting. And I used the envelope the back part of the envelope for this sentiment. And the reason being, I could have used Whisper White Regular, which is my preferred paper, but because it's a different white, the envelope was a different white, it would be glaringly obvious that there were two different whites. I know that it sounds weird. White is white, but not really. There's lots of variations to white. Some can be blue, some can be pink, some can be yellow, some is just off, like gray, I don't know. So anyway, I used the envelope paper to stamp out the sentiment. Then I put dimensionals on the back of that, and then I'm putting that in the pineapple greenery hair. I don't know. It's because I'm a hairdresser. It's like this massive pineapple has crazy, hair. And there is my bling. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been talking for half an hour and it is now 3:30 in the morning. So I'm going to go to bed, and I wish you all a lovely evening and a great day wherever you are. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.